Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ECLECTICAST with your host, Raphael Camargo. Brought to you on Red Media and some other stuff. Today's going to be a lot of fun. Rafa's got a great guest for us. Let's see if we can get into it. Rafa, who's in the ECLECTICAST studio today?
Today's guest is none other than my own mother, Luciana Camargo. Hi, Mom.
Hi.
Welcome.
How's it going? Make sure you talk into that thing.
Oh, yeah, I got to talk into that.
All right. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
It's good to see you. Thanks for coming down.
Oh, it's my
Thanks
pleasure.
for being on the podcast.
Yes.
You've been having fun? You got to see me go up at the Comedy Store last night?
Yes, that was awesome.
Yeah, you've never been in that club?
No, it was pretty cool.
Pretty, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty in there.
Awesome.
Yeah, well, how do you feel about your son being a comedian?
Hop right into it.
Oh, yeah, why not?
And now that your son is officially a failure, how are you feeling about that?
Now that I failed at everything else, how do you feel?
I think it's awesome. I think it's good to see that you're so devoted to the comedy and you are just worked very hard and you make so much progress. I'm very proud of you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. You like the jokes?
Yes.
The material's
Well.
good? What about it? What about the jokes do you think is...
Well, a lot about your childhood and about your grandparents, myself. So,
Yeah.
but it's funny.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Okay, good. Good. Glad.
Because it's happening.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to stop now. But yeah, that's fun. You grew up with them. You know what they're like.
Yes, I do. But they are good too.
They are good. I'm not saying that they aren't.
Right.
I'm not trying to completely shit on them, but a little bit of tough love is what they gave me, and I'm just giving it right back. I feel,
Got it.
I don't know. So I don't know. I think we should start in the beginning. I have like a lot of questions about, I guess, myself, but you would know better, I think, about some parts of my life than I do. So I was born in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about that, like what it was like when I was born?
I was like when you were born?
Yeah, like the whole, I remember you telling me this story about like how Grandpa gave you 3 options, right? Can you kind of explain that?
Oh, sure. So I got pregnant when I was 19 years old.
Sure.
Or 20 maybe. And then, so I had you at 20, right?
What were you doing at that time? Like, were you just going to school? Were you working?
I was in my first year of college.
Okay.
In Campinas, São Paulo.
Okay.
Okay. And then...
What were you studying?
Occupational therapy.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And then I got pregnant, and then... So you were born on Christmas break, which was awesome. Because
good timing for you, huh?
Can be worse if you're born during the school year, because I went to school until very close before your birth.
And just for people listening, like the breaks are different in Brazil than here. So it's 2 months at Christmas.
I was 3 months at Christmas.
3 months at Christmas, like our summer vacation.
So
here.
It starts beginning of December and goes until beginning of March or end of February.
Cool.
So that was good because I stayed with you for 3 months before I had to go back to school.
Sure.
So at that point, I was in another city, and then I went to take a test to transfer to the University of São Paulo because with you being born, I wanted to be at home with my parents so they could help. And I was able to get into the University of São Paulo, and then I moved back in December, back to their house. And you were born December 18th. Yeah. It was a C-section, was planned. I did not go into labor because my mother thought that would be the best thing to do. And I told the doctor if I had pain and then I had surgery.
Pain,
yeah. And then I had to have surgery, like a C-section afterwards, I'll kill her. So or I have pain in natural birth or I had a C-section. So the doctor thought the best thing was just to schedule the C-section.
Okay.
So yes, so we had planned C-section to go into the hospital. And Grandpa and Grandma took me. And then there was the operating room. Grandma was until that point, and those days you could not go in with the person that was delivering the baby.
Even the parents?
Nobody could go.
Nobody.
So when they wheeled me in and Grandma could not go any further, I started crying because I was very scared. what was going to happen. But, you know, the worst part was the epidural.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, that's a big old needle.
Oh, yeah?
They go into your spine.
Yeah, they
So
numb you from your spine.
Yes, they
Whoa.
numb you.
Okay.
So the guy said, just relax because there's no way out.
Okay.
And then I'm like, ah. So it hurt really bad. And then after that, they just lay me down. And I could feel everything they were doing, but I didn't have any pain.
Right.
And then you came out, and they handed me to you, and then they did the things that they had to do, and that was that. So we stayed in the hospital for 3 days, maybe.
Okay.
And a lot of family came to see you, and then we went home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I had remembered you telling me that there was like, because Dad wasn't there.
Right.
So Grandpa gave you this kind of like, either you can take him on as your own,
Right.
or I can take him as my own and he'll be your brother.
Right.
Or you can call it, right? Was that true?
That is true.
Okay.
So after you're born, they had to do the birth certificate. And Grandpa was going to go to do that while I was still in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Because in Brazil, it had to be done. I don't know how it is here, but in Brazil, it had to be done like pretty soon after you're born.
You had to go somewhere else? It doesn't happen in the
yeah,
hospital?
it's like, how do you call, not a court, but some, like where you get a license, a birth certificate.
Like the county register.
Yes,
Sure,
there
yeah,
you go. There
yeah,
you go.
yeah.
So he sat me down and he said, you have 3 options. One option would be for you to raise him by yourself. We can call his father, or we can take him as our own. He'll be your brother.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, I said, I don't want to call his father. And I think that I should be his mother. So just my name on the birth certificate. And that's how we went about it.
Nice. Well, thanks for keeping me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, like why didn't you give him to the circus?
Yeah. Just for him to end up in the circus anyway. You know what I mean? Could have saved a lot of time and hurt. And like, why my name? Like, why Raphael? What was that? What made you choose that?
Well, I was between Raphael and Marco João Carvalho de Carvalho.
Fuck, I'm so
Neto.
glad you did not name me after Grandpa. Holy shit. That's, I didn't even know that bullet. That's awesome.
But your grandfather thought that was going to be a little heavy for you to carry that name.
Yeah.
So he said, no, you cannot do this.
So you were like, Raphael Guagliardi Carvalho de Camargo. That's pretty light. We'll keep it at that.
Yeah. It's nice and easy. Rolls right off the tongue.
No one can say it. Yeah. But
So Raphael's an archangel.
mm-hmm.
So that's where it came from.
Can you pull up what the Archangel Raphael? What's his whole shtick in the Bible? I want to see what his whole thing is, huh?
Yeah, let's see what we can pull up here.
That's interesting though. I didn't know that you were in between naming me after Grandpa and Raphael, which is interesting to me.
Let's see. All right, so there's
Should be, there.
was it a rough?
It's spelled with a PH though, right?
R-A-F No, I think it's F.
It's really? Okay.
I think, I don't know, I'm not sure.
AEL
Archangel.
Archangel.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Angel, Archangel.
Interesting.
But also one of my favorite X-Men.
Yeah, it's a PH, but you went with the FA, which is interesting because that's just how it's spelled in Brazil, I guess, maybe.
Maybe.
And now that I can see the likeness.
Yeah.
They look very similar. Yeah.
Can you look up if what his role was in the what because all the archangels have a different
the
Right.
Wikipedia.
yeah. If we could
Let's
see
do it.
what
Let's do it.
what
Let me
this guy's
see. He was a gambler, a drunkard, a drunk. He was the first.
right on the money, Mom. You got
He's
it
the
right.
First angel to use abortion. Looks like he's a Jew.
Hey.
Yeah, no, none of those facts
Explains the hair.
None of those facts are accurate.
Nope.
Of what I just said.
Oh, okay.
I just want to. I think we just lost our Christian market.
Oh, there it goes.
No. Well, there it is. It's back.
If we didn't lose it from the passion episode.
We really. The truth is, you got to fire the shit out of your production guy here.
Yeah,
no,
I'll
see,
figure it out.
because he's not getting these backgrounds right at all. There it is, Raphael, the angel. What do you want to know about it?
Just the top. What is it? Does he say that?
Okay, so realistically, Raphael means God heals. He's an archangel, first mentioned in the book of Tobit and one of Enoch, both dating from the last few centuries, just before Christ. In later Jewish tradition, he became identified as one of the 3 heavenly visitors entertained by Abraham at the Oak of Mamre. Mamre. He is not named either in the New Testament or the Quran, which,
makes sense.
Yeah, he had dodged a bullet there. But later Christian tradition identified him with healing and as the angel that stirred waters in the pool of Bethesda. And you can find that in John 5:2-4.
So is that why you picked that name? What was Raphael to you? Because do you think I was going to stir some waters? You had just an anticipation?
I just felt like it was an angel. It was protective.
It's a beautiful name.
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand. I'm trying to understand who I am.
Makes sense of this madness.
That's cool though. And then so early life was at that house, the 4-story. Right?
I was there, and I was going to school. I went back to school when you were about 3 months old. And then grandma kept you during the day. I was going to school. The first semester, I just went to school twice a week. So I was with you 3 days a week, and then grandma was with you those 2 days. But when I would come home, I would just, she'll hand it to me.
Yeah.
And then the second semester, when you were like probably maybe 6 months old or some more than that, 9 months old, then I started going to school full time, and she took care of you until you were 4.
Yeah, I remember specifically, and you could maybe this is just in my head, but there was a point that I reached that I started asking Grandpa if I could call him Dad.
Well, when you're 3, in your birthday, you asked me if your father was going to come for your birthday.
Oh, that's sad.
And I said no.
You just shake your head like, not today, not ever, kiddo.
And then you said, is he going to buy me a birthday cake? I'm like, no.
We're 2-0 here.
And then the third question was, is he ever going to come for my birthday?
Wow.
And I'm like, I don't think so.
Aww.
And then you went upstairs to this Sottom,
Yeah, sure.
And Grandpa was there and said, can I call you Dad? And he said yes.
Now buy me a birthday cake, bitch.
Yeah, I need some. I need
someone to buy me some cake, and I heard it's the man that does it. So where's my man? Where's my man? Wow, it was hard hitting questions, huh? I was like, all right. Well, is he coming today? Is he getting me cake? Is he ever coming?
I got a lot of.
Hold on, I know a dude. I'll go upstairs real quick.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's funny. Cool. Yeah. So, and then was that where did you have conflict over that? Did you feel kind of like they were raising me and not you were raising me?
Well, there were lots of people in that house.
There was a lot of people in that house.
So my sisters were there. So one sister was 18, the other sister was 15 or 16.
Wow, I didn't realize that they were that young when I was born.
Yes.
Holy shit.
So the middle sister was like, hi, baby, bye, baby. She didn't, but the youngest sister, oh my gosh, she'll do everything for you.
Jana, yeah.
Take care of you, pretty much. And then there was my mom, grandma that was there and kept you all day long.
Yeah.
So it got to a point, like when you're 3, 4, that you didn't know who mom was because there were all these women taking care of you.
I was having a hard time identifying the mom character in the...
And I mean, I guess grandma was the most permanent, I guess, that kept you most of the time. So you're very close to her. And now I was I was finishing school. I was like going to school all day. And I have your nights and weekends. So it was just very confusing, I think for you as who is the parent here, right? But I think...
Was that upsetting for you?
Yeah. It was very upsetting when you call everybody mom. You start calling everybody
mom.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Everybody was mom. I'm like, I'm your mother.
Yeah. But just the one guy I called Dad.
Yes.
All the dudes were. Yeah. Okay. Got it.
So, Zé Augusto was there, from the beginning.
Yeah,
and he'll take you out and take you to whatever he was doing. He'll come by. And Tati and Zé Augusto were never even married yet. They're just engaged. And he'll come, can I take Raphael to the mall? Can I take Raphael here? And I'm like, you're a baby. And I'm like, yeah. And he'll take care of you. Wow. He was very involved with you.
You're such a good guy. I love him to death. Yeah.
He is. So that was one of the guys that were present, I guess. And Jean was with Chiquinho or somebody else. I don't remember.
Chiquinho. I remember he used to let me sit in his lap while he would drive the the Camaro that he had.
Oh Lord, don't tell me that.
yeah, no, he would let me sit in his lap, and then he would like
drive in the highway or something.
No. Like, well, he would be driving. Yeah, I don't know where.
Oh my gosh!
But he would let me sit and like put my hands on the wheel while he was,
That's horrible.
You didn't know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I
remember that vividly.
It, right?
Yeah, she was in the passenger seat, of course. She's like, yeah, let the kid sit in your lap and pretend like he's driving or whatever.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I was 2, I was...
So that was that. I mean, and there are lots of, because they're teenagers, so there are lots of girlfriends coming in and out, and they all adore you. And so you're always involved, You're very outgoing, I think, because in the beginning, like when you're a baby, there are so many people
around
in the house and around and taking you, and so no strangers. And then I remember that we used to eat at the Italian restaurant every Sunday. Do you remember?
They would
that?
take me in the back,
and you'll be
with
walking
the cooks
around
and
with the tables and say hello, and then the waiter will take you around, like there was no strangers, like you go down to the kitchen with him. And so it was like for the first 2 years of your life, I think we went every Sunday to that restaurant. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
I remember, like, I don't know if it was I'd always ask for macarrón de Monica. Like, it's like a ramen in Brazil. There's this like ramen packet, and it's just tomato flavored, but it's like this famous comic book character that they have that's like local to the region called Monica. And I would ask them for this ramen packet at this nice, Italian place, and they would just bring me spaghetti and marinara, I'm sure. Yeah. And just like, that's it.
Yeah, I loved eating that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so, and then what I felt like kind of the reason in my whole life, I felt kind of the reason why we moved to the United States was because you wanted me to get away from that. Kind of like them raising me. I felt like I don't know where I got this idea maybe, but like that you felt like they were just too involved in my upbringing, and that kind of pissed you off, and you wanted to be like, hey, like I chose to raise him on my own, so like I'm going to go and do that.
Part of yes.
Part of it, yes.
Yes.
The other part?
I mean, I think I was finishing occupational therapy school.
Sure.
That job was not very well recognized in Brazil.
Okay.
So I was going to make very little money. About like $500 a month or something like that.
Jesus Christ.
At that time, 29 years ago. Or no, 25 years ago, because you were 4.
Yeah.
So that was that. That's how I felt like if I didn't, and I had the opportunity to come here because of Rick and Sharon. So.
Yeah, you were an exchange student when you were 18? 17?
Yes, 18. So Rick and Sharon.
In Moody, Texas.
That
so from
is
Sao
right.
Paulo, Brazil, 19 million people?
Yep.
To a town of 900, maybe a couple thousand?
A couple of thousand, yes. Yeah. Yes, it was insane.
Culture shock.
So they were very supportive, and they treat me like their own kid. So I knew that I had the opportunity to come and they'll help me.
Mm-hmm.
And occupational therapy here made a lot of money.
Sure.
So I said, that is the way that I'll be able to be independent and not depending on my father. Because if I made $500 a month in Brazil, I'll be in his house for the rest of my life. So that was that. And then the other thing is not the upbringing as much, but they really pressure me to be a certain way with you. And I was doing the best I could at 20.
Fuck that.
And there was a lot of people opinionated how I should be as a mother. And also you thought everybody was mom.
I called everyone mom. That's hilarious.
And so I the only way for me to be able to provide for this kid and he realized that I'm his mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I can have the freedom to do what I think is best for him is to get away. Right. Yeah. That's the only way. So that was pretty much those 2 reasons. They were pretty much why I came.
Did you ever think that might have some kind of backlash?
Like what?
Getting me away from the, very far away from the whole family.
I didn't think about that.
You didn't think about it? You were
Unfortunately, I was young.
No, I know. There's no.
No. I was young and I was thinking about. I thought about what would be best for both of us, And I thought that was the way. But looking back, I think about like, I didn't realize how, I guess I didn't think it was going to be traumatic for you to be pull you out. And I think now I look back and I see a 4-year-old that was raised by grandma, and then all of a sudden comes to the United States and grandma is not around anymore.
Yeah.
That's pretty traumatic.
Well, and you dropped me off at a daycare where I didn't speak the language. I was like, I have to go work.
That's a reason for that. So the reason I did daycare for half a day was because...
yeah, you would work there, right?
No, I worked there after so I had some money because Tati got married, had a big wedding. So grandpa gave money, the same amount of money for 3 kids, for the 3 of us.
Oh, okay.
So I have...
For her wedding?
I mean, her wedding cost like, I don't know, $15,000 or something. It was a huge wedding.
Okay.
So grandpa said, I'll give the $15,000 to Jen and Lou.
As well. Okay.
So when I was graduating, I had a $15,000. And also I had grandpa, when I turned 18, because in Brazil you have to be 18 to drive.
That's interesting.
He bought me a car, and a brand new car. And every 3 years he would change the car or whatever.
Sure.
So even though it was in his name, I had that. He considered the car mine. So I had the $15,000, and I sold the car. So that's more cash. So I felt like I could come here because I have that money
that
to start starting my life, and then, I would get a job, and then it would be okay.
How long did we stay with Rick and Sharon?
Not even a month.
Not even a month? Really?
Rick was upset about that. Yes.
Really?
Yeah, because they thought I was going to come and stay for a long time.
And then we moved to Lorena, right?
Yeah, so there was this low-income apartment complex in Lorena.
Sure, right by the HEB.
Yes, because I was not working. I qualified. So I think we pay like $300 a month or something like that. Yeah. It was a 2-bedroom apartment, and it was very nice, like very safe,
Sure.
So even a month, I didn't come to the United States to be with another set of parents. I came to the United States to be on my own. So that's like I was able to get the apartment. And Granny had lots of dishes and things that she don't use anymore.
Granny being the exchange students' parents. Yeah. So
like,
just so we're clear, not
the mom
my
of
grandma.
the mom. Yes.
Yeah.
And Rick and Cheryl had like old furniture, so they pretty much gave me a whole household of things, and I'm very appreciative for that. And then we're there for a while. I was trying to study for the occupational therapy boards because you gotta pass the boards here to practice occupational therapy.
But like the daycare thing,
Well, you're with me, and then we were speaking Portuguese, and you have no incentive to learn English. So I said, the only way he's going to learn English if I insert him with other kids that he's forced to learn English, right?
Yeah. I literally had to use like signs. I had to be like thirsty or like hungry or like bathroom.
So it was just from 8 to 12 or whatever. And then there was an opportunity for me to be in the daycare while you were in the daycare. So a part-time job. So I said, perfect, because if he needs me, I'll be right there. So I started working there, but then I didn't have all the papers. They didn't check all the papers before they hire me. And then when they went to do it, I didn't have enough documents to be able to work in the United States, right? So they let me go, and you stayed. But I remember in the first month I was not working there yet, that they called me. I was like, he's talking. Because you went for a month without speaking any words.
Not a single word.
And then one day you came in and blah, 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 and they're like, what happened to you?
Just overnight. I was
so you
like,
just
fuck
absorbed everything, and then you started talking. Yes, it was pretty funny. So they're like, he's talking.
And I remember that I would almost get really upset with you when you'd start talking in Portuguese with me, because I was like, we're in America now. We speak English.
True. And then I sent you to Brazil for 3 months.
Yeah, and then she started sending me back home to Brazil.
So you could learn the Portuguese again. I had my techniques.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, wow. So yeah, we moved around a lot.
Yes.
So I know that you're going, it's mostly because of where you're going to college or you were studying? What was the...
Not necessarily.
Okay, why do we move so much?
I felt the need to move. So yeah, I think.
Did you ever think later on that this might be like an issue? All the nomadic lifestyle that we lived.
At the time, I don't know how to do anything different. But we were in Lorena for a while, and then I went into school, and I was going to Denton, Texas for school twice a week. It was, driving 2 hours to come back, babysitters, and all that stuff. And then I got the opportunity of going to having there was a dorm for single mothers at the school. It was very cheap.
Wow.
So then we moved into that. Then when you went to the horrible daycare that was 24. I remember that daycare that was like 24 hours. I mean, you cannot
24 hours?
It was 24 hours, but you cannot leave your kid there for more than 12.
For more than 12 hours?
Yeah, straight.
Oh, my God.
So...
I wonder why they had to make that rule, huh?
Because of all the students having to go to school and stuff. But
just leave their kid there for 2 days. Sorry, I had term
and
exams.
Then you were like, I hate that place. So we just stay long.
I wonder what happened to me there.
Yeah.
It's repressed now.
Yeah, I know. That's why I need therapy to go figure out. But anyhow, so we were not there long because remember when I was leaving for Denton, Toby asked me to marry him.
Oh, Toby Craig.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Yeah. So then we were there for a few months, I think. Maybe a semester or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then in August, I got, I guess I moved out in the summertime back to Lorena.
Mm-hmm. So he had a duplex over there.
Yeah.
With him and Dustin.
There we stayed. And
I remember moving out of that place. That was the first time I ever tried Big Red.
Oh, yeah?
Big Red, the soda?
Yeah.
And I was just like, my world has changed. You know what I mean? I was like, this is so good.
I know. So then we bought a house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we moved in there, and we were there for 4 years.
Yeah, Thompson Circle.
And then I got divorced, and then we moved to those apartments over there.
I'll never forget the day that you told the day that you were talking about getting divorced from Toby. You took me to Fazoli's.
I remember.
And you bought me lasagna and breadsticks. And as I was eating, you're like, so how would you feel if I no longer was with this guy? And I was like, I don't give a fuck, lady. Like I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
He's kind of lame anyway. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He's a great guy. Marriage wasn't so hot, but still a good dude. I mean, he would still show up afterwards to try to take.
Yeah.
We go out to the movies. We go out and get Sonic Drive-In. He tried to be a
father.
He tried to be a positive male role model in my life. That's for sure. And I don't want to shit on the guy, but he was kind of lame.
As a husband, yes.
Yeah, he was kind of boring.
So yeah, and then. After that, we kind of moved to different places because, then we said the apartment complex, we moved twice, the apartment complex, and then we found that duplex. Remember the duplex at Regal?
Mm-hmm.
That was really nice.
Yeah.
It had, wash and dry and all that stuff. So we moved there, and we were there for a few years until we moved here.
Yeah. And
then here, we stay in Huntington, which we move a lot in Huntington.
Yeah.
From one place to another, that.
Yeah. I don't know. I've always had that sense that we just
Oh,
moved
we
a lot,
did.
and I was always like a new school, new friends, new thing.
A little bit, yes.
Going back to that era of my life, so you decided to circumcise me at 8. What happened when I was born? Were you just like? Because I say it in my joke, I say I think you were uncomfortable with the doctors touching me. Was that the real?
No.
Okay. What was the real?
I guess grandma.
Oh, here we go. Okay, strap up.
I was 20, right?
Yeah.
I don't know anything. So grandma tells me there's no need to do this now.
What the fuck?
Hey, maybe he won't need it all. Why you put the baby through this? And I'm like, okay.
So just put him through it later?
But then when you got to be 7 or 8.
Do I have a problem?
Do you want me to be graphic?
Sure.
Okay. You had a problem that your
Did I?
pee hole. No. Yeah.
That was after my first surgery.
Oh,
that my pee hole closed.
Yes.
That was a product of the first surgery. That was, and then Toby Craig would hold me down. He'd put that Neosporin tube in my dick, to be graphic.
Yes.
That was traumatic as fuck.
Wow.
Or the hygiene was not the greatest. I don't know
The
what
doctor,
it was.
I swear the doctor was probably just like, hey, it'd probably be. It's for cleaning purposes.
There was a problem. There was
There was
some
an
kind
issue.
of problem.
There was an issue.
And I went to the doctor. He's like, the best thing to do is to just circumcise him.
Would you like to know more?
How did you break that to me? Do you remember when you told me that this is what it's about to happen to me?
Yeah. And I don't think you were 8 or 9. I think you were 7 or 6 maybe. I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure I was 8.
Okay, so anyways, I don't know. I don't remember.
That's fine.
My life started really after that. That's why everything's blurry before then, but
my
that's
God.
after that.
Okay, so then I said, you're going to have surgery, you're going to be there for 2 days or whatever. I didn't think it was going to be that of a big deal, but it was a huge deal because, there was stitches or whatever was.
Yeah.
I
still have the
you
scar.
couldn't sit.
You have dick stitches on your scar?
I have
dick scars?
from stitches that I had on my dick, yeah.
Yes, dick stitch scars on your dick.
That's a mouthful.
That's it.
Like my penis. All right.
Hey! Yeah, no, that's interesting.
It was, I'll never forget the pain.
And then Jean came.
Jean came.
Yes.
Who else? Just her?
Just her.
It was just her.
It was just
You
her.
were old enough to feel it. Like, and they weren't like, you know what, this has probably traumatized the boy. We know what Novocaine is.
I remember when
We're
they
well
were
aware of
gassing me up for surgery, they put a Furby next to me on the stretcher. And as I was fading out of consciousness, there was this little mechanical doll just laughing in my face.
Oh my God.
And then I remember the next thing I remember
That's
is
pretty funny.
waking up from surgery and just gasping for air, just like like not being able to breathe. And
Okay.
then all of a sudden, just the biggest pain, like just my core, just fucking pain, just like abdomen down to like my pelvic region, just terrible pain. The nurses would come around and walk me a block.
Not a block, honey.
Okay,
Just
it
down
felt
this-
like
the hall.
it hurt real
Of
bad,
course.
and it, like the hanging appendage, but it'd have to have like two people assisting me as I walked down the hall, and I would remember feeling
you're
it.
8. You don't have 2 people walking.
Oh God, okay, whatever.
That's how traumatic it was.
It was bad.
Dude, I mean, let's be real. This was at a Planned Parenthood. You're kind of you're embellishing a little bit.
Yeah, I mean that's how
It was
that's how I
traumatic.
remember it. That's how I remember.
You
it.
couldn't use the regular underwear anymore. You had to use boxers. That's the time that you
Switch
ever
to
use
boxers?
because nothing could touch because it was very
Oh, it hurt.
horrible.
I had to fill that jug. I had to pee an entire gallon jug.
Yeah, not
before I could
everybody
leave.
knows the story. You don't just say the jug. I mean, tell us.
It's a gallon jug.
A
and I had to-
urinal.
You had to pee in a gallon. You
had
had
to
to pee in a
pee in it.
jug.
It's a urinal, yes.
Yeah, dude.
It was a urinal. That's what they use for a urinal.
Yeah, dude. I got
Yeah.
one in the car in case I get stuck in traffic.
Like anybody that has surgery has, so they don't have to get up to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
They can use that inside of the bed.
Yeah, it's like a bedpan.
To me, it was one of the. I was like, oh, that piss jug. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is a piss jug.
But yeah, and then I remember that the day I left the hospital, and you're like, we will stop and rent you any video game from Hollywood movies that you want.
Oh, I
I had to
felt
miss
really
school.
bad.
Yeah, you were like,
at home
fuck.
2 weeks.
2 weeks? Really?
John stay with you, yes.
2 weeks.
Man.
And you couldn't you could sit, but not really.
All the ice cream.
Yeah.
You can have anything you want because I felt
Lieutenant Dan, ice cream.
Jeez.
I felt so bad. I felt so bad.
Yeah.
And then a year later, your pee hole was
My
too
dick
small.
hole closed, pretty
It's not-
much.
I
It
mean-
was closing.
Yes. So the
I
doctor
was pissing like a sprinkler system.
like-
Well, that's no bad. That's no bad.
so the doctor said, "I'm so sorry, but we
We
have
have
to
to do it
open the
again." Yeah.
hole." 'Cause
Were
he
you
had-
awake for that?
No.
Now they put me under again.
Oh, they better.
But that one was not as bad as the first one.
It wasn't as bad.
But we had to put the Neosporin
But I
on
had
your
to put a Neosporin tube inside my dick hole twice
So I
a
had
day
to-
for a year.
But
And I was
All right with
I was 7 or 8 or whatever, and so my mom.
I'll hold you and Toby will do it.
No, Toby. No, I remember
The other
Toby
way
holding
around?
me.
Oh, okay.
Toby will hold me on the bed because I was squirming and trying to kick you guys off of me, and then you would grab my dick and put the Neosporin tube in.
I had to.
For
It was
at
gonna
least-
close again.
Yeah, at least for the first couple of times, and I don't know what
It was
happened.
not for a year. It was like about a month. But
No, just to
anyhow.
relate, it's like I had to take scissors and trim my puppy's butthole the other day, and it took everyone in the house to get that done. So I can imagine.
And you're
Yeah.
7 or 8, so
Yeah.
it's hard. It's traumatic.
Yeah,
yes.
it was.
And your stepfather's holding you, and yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty bad.
And you don't even speak English.
I used to make a joke on stage. I was like, "Have you guys ever been Me Too'd by your parents?"
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I remember the joke.
You remember when I used to say that? Yeah.
Well, it was all out of love. What do you want them to do? Just let your dick rot off?
I mean, yeah, for sure didn't want it to close again. That would have
Yeah,
been
you had to have
terrible.
it
Third
surgery
surgery?
again.
Nah,
I'm gonna go
it's
ahead and
good.
say you were lucky to have Mama Bear there.
Yeah. Whose side are you on, Ron? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm on your penis's side.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad it's doing okay.
It's doing great.
I'm glad. That's
Performing well. Peak performance. It's really coming into its own, you know? Yeah. So
and now would be the perfect time to thank your mother for having given you such
Thanks
a
for the
beautiful
great
penis.
dick. I appreciate it.
Gave your son a beautiful penis.
I've had a couple girls be like, you have a beautiful penis. I'm like, you want to call my mom and like thank her or what? Because I didn't do anything.
A couple of girls and even that homeless guy. There it is.
I didn't want to tell her about that, but that's fine.
Hey man, we're getting personal. You guys are getting personal as fuck today.
Yeah, these are the questions I've always had in my. They kind of just rumble in the back of my head. I always wonder what it was really like.
Can we talk about like some family recipes or anything like that for like a couple of minutes?
My grandma's a great cook.
There it is. Let's go there.
Yeah, you feeling squeamish?
No, I'm just. Between comedy.
It's not every day that Ron's like, fuck, man.
I mean, I see you on stage, so I've seen your wiener a lot. I've seen your dick jokes. And,
pretty tight. Yeah, we
can
tight
go. Little dick joke right there. That's stupid.
Oh, shit. Okay, yeah, we can talk about family recipes. My grandma makes lasagna with ham in it. There's a layer of ham. You ever heard of that?
That's interesting. Like
pretty
prosciutto?
Good. No,
or just like hunks of ham, like a Denver omelet.
Not the slices. Yeah.
Okay.
So she throws layers of ham in there, and every time I mention that to people, it seems to be like a not done thing. So good for grandma. She figured out something else. Add a little bit of pork in there. You know.
My mom is a terrible cook.
My mom's a terrible cook,
but she makes this holiday ham.
Oh yeah, she's right there. Sorry. I just say that all the time. So
I know.
Yeah, she couldn't even. She had a hard time cooking ramen for me.
Well, your dick was closing up.
I just showed you how to scramble eggs this year.
That is true.
That is true.
Wait, what?
I just showed her how to scramble eggs this year.
Whoa, what? You're one of those bougie, over easy kids, just getting them.
No, she put a Pop-Tart in the toaster for me, and then send me to school, and I'd come home and eat
cereal, Pop-Tart.
Welcome to America.
What was
mac
it?
and cheese and chicken
mac and cheese and chicken nuggets. That was my. I would get American cheese slices and eat like
with
the chicken nuggets.
Yes.
That's like the most American thing I think I've ever heard.
Yeah, when I first came here, I wouldn't eat anything but McDonald's.
French fries from McDonald's. Only.
That's
those.
Funny. That's
Burger King. No.
My wife only ate French fries from McDonald's like that, and that was it. That was all she would get at McDonald's. She didn't want cheeseburgers or anything else.
Really, just the fries.
Just the fries.
Yeah.
They have pretty damn good fries, I'll tell you that.
I don't know how do you eat your McDonald's French fries? Because I'm not a one at a time guy.
What I really like to do is I like to get a burger and put the French fries in the burger.
Oh, you're a savage.
And but preferably barbecue sauce. I'll throw some.
Now you're just getting weird.
Now I'll dip some French fries in the.
It's not
barbecue.
even on the menu, dude. Now you're just making some 14-year-old kid in the back work.
In Brazil, they call that Australian style. I don't know why, but like when you put fries on your McDonald's, it's like Big Mac or whatever. They call that Australian style. I don't know.
Try to get
I didn't know that.
João Vitor, he's the one that taught me that. Yeah, he's like
get a McDonald's cheeseburger with mac sauce on it. That'll change your life.
That's so good.
Calm down over there. Right? Relax. Moaning like that on the podcast.
Well, aside from cheese slices and chicken nuggets, like I mean, you both came to America and it was kind of a whirlwind of shit going on in your personal lives. Was there any like sense of relief when you got here where you were just like, oh shit, yeah, look, this is so nice. They've got McDonald's here.
I mean, there's McDonald's in Brazil, but
don't take this from me. But no, I mean, like there must have been something like, sweet, we're here, we made it.
But you must have.
I mean, I think it was difficult because when I thought we came in July before we came for Rio, and I look at jobs and there were jobs everywhere.
Sure.
And then when we came in January of the following year, Medicare had changed the payment plan, and they're firing occupational therapists. Because I thought somebody was going to sponsor me so we could stay here. So nobody was hiring anymore, and they're letting people go.
Okay.
So I couldn't find a job, and then I had to pass the boards, and it took me 3 times to pass the boards. It was the last time, or I wouldn't be able to do it. So then when we got a job, I got married, and then I couldn't find a job anywhere as an occupational therapist in Waco or Lorraine or anywhere. That's when we went to Eastland. Remember Eastland?
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
So we moved to this little town in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I had my first nursing home job there. So that's, I think, Denton, Eastland, there are lots of changes for youth, lots of schools.
But I mean, even then, like, we moved Lorena to Midway, and like we were living in Hewitt for a little bit. Yeah. There's a lot of changes. But
I think that was
the relief.
difficult.
He's asking like if.
The life was difficult in that because I thought it was going to be a lot easier to get a job and things like that as an occupational therapist. Right. It was not. So I was living on Grandpa's $15,000,
which that'll go.
Yeah,
and
then
in the 97.
90. I came in January of 98.
Yeah, in 1998, 15 grand is probably probably worth about 15.5 grand.
And in Texas too. So
Texas,
it's a little bit cheaper out there.
But and we were in the low income housing for a few months. But I was going to the masters, daycare. Everything that we had, I was provided for the whole house.
Yeah. Which you would not be able to do in Brazil. So.
And I had, if it was all for Grandpa, I wouldn't be able to do period. What I mean? So, but then when I got married, because I had applied for a green card or whatever, because I ended up having to. We stayed here 6 months and we went to Brazil in July because we came in as visitors, right?
Sure.
No. And then went back to Brazil in July. And I still didn't have a job. I still haven't really. I think I passed the boards at that point. I don't remember. So anyhow, I hadn't passed the board yet. And then we went and we got in as visitors again.
Nice.
And the immigration asked, like, how long are you staying? I said a month, because they saw that I came, stay 6 months and get out. So I think after that, I started dating Toby, like went to Brazil in July, in August.
Green card marriage.
No, it was not, but anyhow.
How long are you staying? For a month. And then I started dating this white guy. Anyway, you were saying.
Would you like to know more?
Yes, please.
So, then I passed the boards and that, and then we got married, so I was able to work.
Sure.
But there was no jobs as an occupational therapist. So I started calling other cities, other places to try to find a job as an OT. That's when we moved to, even though I was married, we moved to Eastland and would come home in the weekends, or he'll go over there. Yeah. And then after 6 months, I was able to get a job in Waco, and we moved back.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what the question was.
He was asking if there was a sense of relief being in America.
Were you at
as
least
immigrants,
we're here.
We made it to America.
Easton sucks, but everything else is pretty cool.
Yes, I love the way of life. I remember when I was exchange student at 18, I called my mother and I said, they want to adopt me, I'm going to stay. And broke her heart, right?
Grandma, yeah.
Yes. So that
would be crazy if they did adopt you, though.
If
we became Lynches?
Rick offered. But I was 18. He couldn't adopt me anymore. I'm 18 years old.
Yeah, you're already adult.
But he told me, like, why don't you stay, And I'm like,
you're like, I'll be back.
I got to go. So, So I was glad to be back.
Yeah.
I was glad that, I was raising you and nobody was interfering with that.
Right.
You had some corkness, or you were very spoiled by your grandmother.
Sure.
So I remember that you'd say to me, I was sitting somewhere, you say, get up, I want to sit there. I'm like, excuse me? You're not sitting anywhere. I'm not going to get up.
I had, what's little cousin's name?
Oh, Augusto. You're
yeah.
I mean, no. You were, because you're a very laid back child. Augusto is very hyper.
Okay.
But when it comes to, how do I say?
What I want?
Boundaries, or,
I still suffer with those issues.
That was not there with your grandmother. Do you want this? Sure, honey, you can have whatever you want.
She would do everything for me.
Yes. So when I got you full time, there was a lot of that there.
Yeah.
You do this. I just ate French fries from McDonald's. And Rick was like, you're going to eat the French fries I give you.
I will never forget the can of red beans. Do you remember this story?
I remember that he made you eat.
Dude, I was like, I don't, these beans are weird. They're not like the ones from Brazil. And he goes, well, it's what's for dinner. So you're gonna eat these canned red beans if it's the last thing you fucking eat. And he literally, like, I cried. I just like threw a tantrum.
Stay on
and I was
the
like,
table.
nah.
Yeah.
He's like, we're not getting up to eat those fucking beans, dude. And I was like, all right. And it got late, so I was like, I'm done with this. And he's like, all right. And he just put it in a Tupperware, and he's like, that's what's for breakfast. And literally, like, I had to eat those. I ate them crying, just like fucking tears coming out of my eyes. And forever, like, I have a lot of trauma with food. I had a lot of people make me eat stuff that I didn't want to eat, and I cried, and then I'm like, I'm never eating this ever fucking again. Lettuce, tomatoes,
What that made you eat? It's locked you in the
pineapple. My aunt Tachi locked me in the fucking kitchen because she goes, try this pineapple juice, and I was like, I'm good. And she goes, try this pineapple juice, and I was like, nah, I'm good. And she goes, okay. And she just gets up and locks me in the fucking kitchen.
What?
Yep.
Like what?
Locked me in the kitchen overnight. She's like, yeah, you can knock when you're done.
Because you wouldn't eat pineapple?
Because I wouldn't drink pineapple juice.
I was not there. He was going to Brazil.
I mean,
for the
earlier,
summers.
yeah, like earlier, he said they chopped his dick off with an axe and made him walk 4 blocks around the hospital like Game of Thrones,
Call her
screaming,
right
shame,
now. Call her right
shame.
now.
So I mean, I don't know. It's probably pineapple juice is probably it wasn't that bad. I think you were a finicky kid. Everything I'm hearing just sounds like you were finicky.
Yeah,
Still
I was a
finicky,
little
finicky
bitch,
Tom.
dude. That's exactly what I was. Have you not heard the story? It's
How dare you take me to another country and make me enjoy pineapple?
no, I was back at home in Brazil, and she was just like,
Oh, Brazilian pot! Get the fuck out of here! Come on, man.
yeah, I know,
Come on.
I know.
Brazilian
I just didn't want to
pineapple's
do
probably
it.
even better.
I just was just like, don't want
I
to
think
do
you're
it.
like 10 maybe.
Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah, and yeah, that was cool. I don't know.
That was awesome.
I don't know how. Like, I don't know why, but I remember like. I drank the dog's water.
Oh
There was,
my
like, the
gosh,
dog
don't
bowl
tell me
water.
that.
Yeah, because I don't know why I didn't think about, but like to like.
There was sink. There was a sink. There's water in the kitchen.
Yeah, I
Maybe
don't-
you were trying to be like, oh, I hope they catch me drinking dog water.
Yeah,
Just so you could like,
I don't
let me
remember.
see what I'm. Do
It
you
was
see
a-
what this has come to?
it was a weird situation, but yeah.
Hey man, kids are weird.
I remember.
Kids are weird.
I think I was 3 when grandpa was like, "Hey, try lettuce," and I was like, "Nah." And he put lettuce between 2 pieces of bread and was like, "Eat that sandwich." I didn't want to eat it, so I just like cried, and he
Oh,
pretty
I
much
don't-
just was like,
I
"Here
don't
you
know
go,"
that. I
and he
don't-
just fed it to me, and then I was like, "I'm not fucking." I remember like crying. He just feeding me this lettuce sandwich.
That's horrible.
My old man used to trick me with stuff like horseradish and spicy stuff. He'd be like, "Here, you want some cheese and crackers?" And he'd like put a little dip of like really spicy hot sauce on it or something, just because I would freak out and it delighted him. Like, ha, stupid kid, he just ate flaming red hot burn your anus sauce. What a
Yeah.
dumbass! And I'm like, whatever, dude. I'm 6.
Fucking guys, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still cry when I eat sandwiches with lettuce on it. You know what I mean?
Why you're a grown up? Why like put something else on it?
It's a joke, Ron. I just get teary-eyed. I don't cry. Okay.
Plain and dry. I want
Plain and dry. That's my thing, man.
What's plain and dry mean?
Just meat and cheese.
Just meat and cheese. That's plain.
it.
And, like if
I
you
don't
opened
like
up a
mayo, I
sandwich
don't like
shop, it'd be
mustard. Like I ate my sandwiches literally just ham, cheese, and bread. That's how I
Perhaps
like
plain
my
and
fucking-
dry. The
Maybe a
old
little bit of
version.
onions.
For many years.
Yeah.
Now
Okay.
you have barbecue on it and those kind of things, right? Barbecue sauce.
Yeah, I didn't like ketchup. I didn't like barbecue. I didn't like
No,
any of that
any
stuff. I was a very
dressing.
picky eater growing
Yes,
up. I'm still
so
kind of a picky
picky.
eater.
So
Yeah.
picky, yes.
But yeah. And then my teenage years.
Mhm.
How was that for you?
Challenging.
Yeah. Oh, before we leave the early years, though, I do want to say I think of Glinda all the time.
Yes, you should.
She was Australian. She was my nanny,
Yes.
pretty much. She just took care of me.
She took care of you when I
She
couldn't.
lived in the same apartment complex as us, in the low income apartments, right?
Yes.
And then she
She
referred.
worked at the daycare, and then I asked her if she could, like, if I was going out or something, if she could keep you. And then that's how she said. And then Nelda, right?
Nelda, yeah.
When like Linda left, and there was Nelda.
When we were at that on Friegel,
Yes.
and Nelda would come over
Yeah,
and watch
adorable.
me. She that was the first time I ever watched stand up really with someone.
Really?
Yeah, I remember watching the Gabriel Iglesias special that came out when he was his first special ever.
Huh.
And it was me and Nelda, and like she would just let me watch whatever the fuck I wanted on TV, and so I started watching the the stand up specials and all that
Wow,
stuff. She
I
let me
didn't know
skateboard
that.
in the house. I stayed up until I heard your car come into the carport, and I would run, and she'd just be like, "All right, just So she was awesome. She was fucking sick. When I got to work with Fluffy once, and all I could think about was if Nelda could see this, she would be freaking out right now. You know,
that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's cute.
He popped in at Rec Room once just to see someone else perform.
Wow.
And the producer of the show saw him and then came up to me and was like, "Is that fucking Fluffy?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he went up and asked if he wanted to go up and do 15, and he went up and did 15 on the show.
Wow.
And then he hung out at the bar until 2 a.m. talking to literally every single person that wanted to talk to him, take a photo,
Wow.
taking
Fluffy for
tequila
sure.
shots. Yeah, he was very fucking nice. And all I could think about is me being that kid in Texas looking on the TV and thinking, like, how did these fucking guys even get there?
Right. That is pretty cool. I didn't know that's how it started.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever really watched stand-up.
Wow.
It was probably, other than, you took me
I took
you
you to
took me
Chris
to George
Rock,
Lopez at
George Lopez
the
at 10
Texas
years
State
old.
Fair. I was
Yes,
10.
I did.
When we first moved to California, you took me to see Dane Cook at the fucking
And
Staples.
Chris Rock.
Yeah, we went to Gibson Amphitheater at Universal City Walk and watched Chris Rock right when Obama got elected. So it was like,
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
it was, you've always, you always opened
comedy
that.
was a thing that we did together. I
Sure,
think.
yeah, it was something we bonded over. It's
Right.
like go out and just laugh and have a good
Right,
night
yeah.
and have a good dinner and stuff. And look at me now.
Yeah, so cool.
It's fucking
I'm glad
interesting.
I could influence you on a little bit.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, you open up to, because I always saw the power of that. You know, when we'd go out and see comedy shows and like
funny.
just being that young and just looking around and just being like, holy shit, man, like
There are like 2,000 people here and they're performing
just
in front
crazy,
of
you know.
Then Cook,
and-
remember, was like a super crowd when
yeah,
the
it was
first
the
time.
vicious circle tour, vicious cycle tour. It was
Yeah.
like one of his biggest specials ever.
Yeah.
And we were there in the Staples Stadium, fucking with all these people, and he had just that little
In the
360
center,
round, and they packed it out, and it was one of the most powerful things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And like he was doing jokes, like where like he his
So
his
funny.
wife had a fetish of
Like a girlfriend, I think.
getting like someone breaking in and like having their way with her or whatever. And I just remember like us like looking at each other for a second and being like, all right, like we're gonna sit through this together. Like we never had the sex thing.
Yeah, he was pretty graphic.
Oh man, yeah. So yeah, and then came to California, and then things kind of changed when we came out. Well, things were pretty bad for me already in Texas.
I didn't know that.
I mean, not like drugs wise, but just like after Erica died. Remember that? And I got
very
really
depressed.
depressed because that was my first real encounter with death. Like seeing someone I knew alive
It was horrible.
in a fucking in a casket, and just seeing
It
like a
was
death.
horrible. 12-year-old girl.
And she got pneummonia, her brain swelled up, and she died in the hospital. And she was
staph infection.
staph infection, yeah. And she's like straight A. She was like such a good, like what you would think of a good person. Like she had straight A students. She was like in like a horse riding club. She did all the right things, and to me that was like, if she goes, like, fuck, this is weird. I had like that kind of first glimpse at
your
morality.
friend,
Yeah. It was really weird, but that's when I started getting really depressed.
Oh, you wouldn't get out of bed.
Yeah, it was real bad. And then, did you decide to move to California because of how bad my depression had gotten, or was it just something that you were like, it's time?
I think the last time you went to Brazil, I think you were 13, maybe.
That wasn't the last time, but
12 So 12, maybe. You're 12 years old.
last time I went to Brazil, I was 22.
No, I mean,
Oh.
as the summer,
Oh,
as a
okay, yeah,
kid.
right, all right.
That you spent the whole summer there.
Sure.
That took me to Europe for 2 weeks.
Is
And went to London, Barcelona.
that where you met Nick Cage in that fucking
Yeah,
grocery store
yes.
and you took a photo with him?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
You met Nicolas Cage in a grocery
Tell
store?
I
the
did.
story.
That's
I'm gonna,
awesome!
I'm gonna grab a beer real quick, but yeah.
Here, I'll grab it for you. You stay.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
So the story with Nicolas Cage is
What's the name of that fucking store? It's a really famous store.
Harrods or Harold's.
Yeah, it's
something
Princess
like that.
Diana's fucking
Yeah.
Harold's or whatever.
The guy that she was dating before she died.
Sure.
His father is the owner of this
Yeah.
big store. Very fancy store, but it has a grocery store inside it. And in Europe, it was at that time was very hard to find
Thank you.
a Diet Coke, and I have an addiction
Oh yeah.
with that. So and like was cheaper to buy wine than buy a Diet Coke. The Diet Coke was super expensive.
Wow, how expensive?
I don't know.
I mean, because like wine.
$5, $6. I don't
Oh.
know. Like it was a lot more expensive. So we went to this department store, really, that's Harold's, and they have a grocery store. And I said, Tati, let's go
Get a Diet Coke.
find if they have Diet Cokes.
Sure.
And they did. And so I passed through this guy and I said, he looks so familiar. And I didn't know, like.
It's fucking Nicolas Cage, dude.
So Tati was looking somewhere else. So I came to her and said, maybe we know this guy. I passed through this guy. He looks so familiar. It's like, oh my God,
yeah.
that's Nicolas Cage. So, you know, your aunt, right?
She's like, we gotta get a photo.
Yeah. So she goes over there like, can we take a picture with you? And he's like, sure. So we took a picture. And then when we finished the picture, there were like this crowd of
everyone
people
was like,
around
oh my
him.
God, it's
Oh,
fucking Nick
shit.
Cage.
Do you still have the picture?
I do, but I don't know what it is. I need to ask Tati if she.
Tachi probably for sure has it.
Yeah, I don't know what mine is.
Tell him to take a photo of it. And
I was on
text it to
vacation in
you.
Brazil while you guys.
Yes, you're in Brazil.
What year was that?
I think you're 10, 12. I
No-
think the
no,
last
like-
time was 12, so it's 16 years ago.
16. So that'd be like 1990.
No, it'd
No,
be 2000.
2000 something.
Okay, so like. I'm trying to think of like what
2005?
Nicolas Cage movie was happening at that time, or like his last big
2005-ish?
one.
Yeah.
Maybe like Con Air and
Something
and
like
stuff,
that.
or like the bigger ones from the 90s.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
funny. But he was super.
Oh, it's so
he was
cool.
super cool. He was super cool. But then, poor guy, we left and he was in the crowd of this.
Yeah, he was not grocery shopping anymore.
Yeah.
All right,
people,
glad we
you know.
fucked up your run for
Yeah.
eggs and milk. See you later,
No one
Nick.
else recognized him, and then you guys are like, "Oh, we're gonna fuck up his day," you
Oh,
know?
that's
No,
awesome.
I was like, who is it? Like, he looks so familiar. That my attention, right? It
Sure.
was- yeah. So so we took pictures and left. So when I got back to Waco, Texas,
Sure.
I'm like, what am I still doing? Because my goal was always like,
She met one.
So you
fucking
met
movie
one
star.
celebrity, and you're like, "That's
No,
it. We're going to
Doing
California."
in Waco, Texas.
That's
I gotta go to Cali.
That's
that
awesome.
was not that.
You know, this Branch Davidian thing just doesn't seem to be working out. Let's
that's
go to
awesome.
fucking.
That's sick.
That's so cool, man.
So you were like, "What am I doing in Waco,
When I'm-
Texas?"
when I first decided to come back to the United States, after graduate from college, my goal was like stay in Texas for 6 months, and then I'm gonna move to San Diego. That was my goal.
No way.
Yes.
San Diego?
Yes,
Not
that-
Huntington Beach.
No, it was San Diego. That was my goal.
Had you been here before? Why San Diego?
I don't know.
Okay. You're a mysterious woman. All right.
Okay, so then we stay in Texas for 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got married, divorced, and I was there, and and then when I went to Europe, I'm like, my goal was to go to San Diego. What am I still doing in Waco, Texas? I'm divorced. There's nothing holding me here. So I think you came back from Brazil, and then when you got to be like 14, 13, a friend of mine that's a speech therapist, was doing a traveling assignment in Long Beach, California. She was here for 8 months or 9 months. So I told, can we go to at Thanksgiving? Can we go to California and meet my friend, and you see how you like it?
Yeah.
And he said yes. So we came for 5 days,
We did.
and we stayed at Newport, the Hyatt in
I remember.
Newport.
We had that hotel.
And then we had Thanksgiving dinner at the Queen Mary.
Yes, we did.
And then we went to Venice Beach.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
you
what I saw.
loved
I
it.
loved Venice. There was like 30 homeless dudes, and there was only one sign, and it just said "We'll work for weed." And I was
Yes.
like, "This place rules, dude." Yeah.
And you're a skateboarder, so you love
Yeah, I
the
just
skate
wanted to-
park.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I said, what do you feel? I always asked you,
right.
right? Because I don't want to move you at 14 without
Yeah,
your
you'd
permission.
realize by this point, like, I've done this too
I
many
fucked
times.
him up, so let me just try to.
You don't have a choice,
Do
but how do you
better.
feel?
How do you feel about moving here? And you're like, oh, that would be awesome. So we went back
And then we packed up our
the
shit.
place. I applied for a job in California. I told the traveler agent, like, I want to find a position in California. And then I got a job in Huntington Beach. So we moved to Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
That was pretty much it.
Yeah, that was, and then
you made to San Diego, which I'm very happy. I never did, but you are here. I
yeah.
get to visit often, so
there
that's
you go.
good.
Yeah. Beautiful San Diego. Yeah. Yeah. And then, man, it was a whole other scene out here. You know, it was backwards compared to what I had grown up in, the schools and stuff and all that. I remember one of my first weeks at Dwyer Middle School when we had first moved. We were still living in the Huntington Beach Hotel. We haven't even found a place yet.
Right.
And I got kicked out of class because I had said yes, ma'am to the teacher.
That.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Well, it was no, ma'am, and then yes, ma'am. What happened was I'd sat down and she goes, all right, everyone get out your homework. And I didn't get anything out because I'm new. And then she was like, you don't have your homework? And I said, no, ma'am. And she goes, oh, you think that's funny? And I was like, what? And then she's like, get out of my class. And I was like, all right, yes, ma'am. And I packed my stuff and I was walking out of the class. And then she goes, are we from the South? And I was like, yeah.
Like really far south.
And then she was like, oh, how long have you been here? And I was like, 2 weeks maybe, like, you know, like in school. And then she was just like, oh, like, where were you living? I was like, Waco, Texas. And she's like, oh, you can sit back down. I thought you were being sarcastic with me.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you fucking kidding? Like, that's a sign of respect where I come from. Like, we had to address every teacher by yes, sir, no, sir. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am.
Yeah,
like,
what part of that was me being an asshole? Was it
Yeah.
rendering you proper respect or
Was it
doing
I
what you
said
told me to
ma'am?
do on the first time you told me to do? Like, fuck off, man. Sorry.
And I used to say y'all too, and then everyone was like, we say you guys here.
Well,
they got really pissed at
I
the
mean,
y'all.
that just made you dumb.
Yeah.
No,
well,
I'm kidding.
Maybe.
I'm kidding. I kid.
I was progressive. Texans were progressive before anybody. You all.
Yes.
Not encompassing any gender,
No?
just all of you.
Yeah, y'all.
Yeah, dude. You know the word dude is non-gender specific?
Is it really?
Yeah. Yeah. So if you call anyone dude, you are not being gender specific.
Huh.
There you
That's
go.
pretty
That's
cool.
cool.
Yeah, well, yeah, my dude.
So then I started playing music. Started getting really into that.
Yeah.
And you helped. I mean, you supported me. You put me in performing arts school at Huntington Beach High School at the APA
I
program.
mean, you have vocal classes, you have
Yeah, you
guitar
took me to-
classes.
Oh, that explains the Doors. I saw him do karaoke a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You saw me
he's,
sing.
he's got some pipes.
He does. He
Yeah.
had a band. He was performing Long Beach, and right.
Yeah, I used to do a bunch of stuff like that. And then, did you ever notice when I was on drugs? Because I feel like you didn't.
So,
Funny story.
when did you start drugs? Let's start that.
I started smoking weed in freshman year,
She just mommed you, dude.
How old?
16.
16. Okay.
Freshman
I
year,
think
started smoking
16,
weed.
17, I started seeing some change in behavior.
By 17, I was doing heroin.
Yeah. So I started seeing some agitation. I mean, you're a very sweet boy all the time. So things were changing. In parts of the teenage years, I understand that. But then got to the point that was a little bit more than that.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the depression in Texas, I was wondering if you had like a mental, like
Illness.
schizophrenia,
Like
schizophrenia.
or bipolar
Depression,
disorder,
bipolar.
some like
manic depression.
something like that. So I was observing, but
Sure.
I was not sure what's happening. And now I'm gonna tell you. So I think you left my house.
I just turned 18 by a couple of months.
Yeah.
It's like February-ish of...
Yeah, so I left my house, and then I moved to Anaheim, and then that's the day that I think you called me that you were thinking I was there. Remember that time you said, you're here, this and that.
Yeah, I was...
And you hadn't slept for days.
Yeah, I was really high on meth.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And I had... Okay. I'd gotten this job at a health food place, and my relationship with my mom was not great. And so someone asked me, like, oh, like, you're trying to find a room, like, what, like, your mom kick you out or something? And I just, I was so pissed that they put me in that I lied, and I was like, my mom's dead, actually. And they were like, oh, my God, I'm so sorry. And started hugging me, and then they're like, you can stay at my place. And I was like, okay. I'm just going to keep this going because I need a place to stay.
Oh,
So I came up with this whole story about how she got hit by a car, and like she was like driving and she got into a car accident and she ended up passing away, and that like I didn't know where to go and yada yada yada. And I lived with these people for about 2 months, and then
They're doing heroin, right?
no, so one of my coworkers was this girl, and she was living there too at this house, and it was just a bunch of kids, like, you know, like 20-year-olds, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yeah, we got drunk one night and we were kind of like fooling around and stuff. And she was like, "Oh, like I used to do drugs," and I was like, "Yeah, I hadn't done heroin in at least a year or whatever."
I didn't know. I thought you just did heroin on that phase. I didn't know you were doing before. I did not know.
I started doing heroin when I was 17 and in school. I mean, I'd go to APA practice like high on heroin.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was smoking. I mean, my lunch break, I'd go in the bathroom and smoke heroin at school.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It was very accessible. Let me say that.
Yeah,
it was
I know.
very accessible in Huntington Beach, California.
And I have a question.
Sure.
Because today I was talking to Andy, and I was like, one time you came home and you gave me a Xanax pills. Like, I'm not gonna do this anymore. One of those.
Did I really?
Yeah. And
Restorils, the Restorils that you got me prescribed on?
No, I didn't. You had because you were taking them to whatever,
Interesting.
get high or whatever it was doing. So, and we were thinking like, what does Xanax do to a teenage boy? You know what I mean? Like, what did you feel taking Xanax?
Oh, I would just completely fade out of consciousness. Like I would just blink, just nothing there, blackout.
You wouldn't be sleepy. You'd just be
no.
out?
I'd be awake. I'd be doing things, but there was no one home.
Oh,
I was completely not there.
Okay.
So when I would take it after 30 minutes, like no matter what I was doing, my daily functions, whatever the fuck it is that I was doing,
automatic stuff.
Just I was gone. There was no one driving the car, and I don't have any recollection of that time or anything that I did. I would just wake up and I would I don't know. My shit would be rearranged in my room, and I just I just didn't know what was going on. But I was doing that to escape life, to escape reality. I didn't want to be around, and this was an easy get out of myself for a bit and just black, nothing, know.
Well, we can go back to the day of that you called me.
But yeah. So So what happened was I was at work and I had been up. Well, what happened was we started relapsing. Okay. So me and this girl started doing heroin again.
Okay.
And then she was like, but I also throw stuff. I was like throwing uppers in to the needle. Mm-hmm. So then she would cook up it would be like cocaine and heroin in the same needle.
Oh, wow.
And then it got to back to meth. Because I started doing meth when I went back to Texas after.
That's horrible.
So I was out there and I was working 3 jobs. I just dropped out of high school. Mm-hmm. And it was, like I said, easily accessible, very cheap. Mm-hmm. And it could keep me going through my 3 jobs.
Right.
And I could be on, So I moved back to California to get away from all that stuff, and then ended up in a position. And then so we started relapsing together and shooting that stuff up. And then I had a friend who just happened to have a decent amount of meth on him, and I bought it from him. And I stayed up for a considerable amount of time, and then I was at work.
A week or something.
Yeah, I was up for 6 days, and I was at work, and I was doing dishes in the back. And since I had told everyone that you had died, I thought you had come into my work, and then you're like, "My son is here." I heard this in my head, it was like psychosis for sure.
Right.
I could hear you telling them, and ruining my whole shtick. Right.
Okay.
So I literally walk out of the kitchen. And I was like, "All right, where is she?" Mm-hmm. Where is she? I know you guys know. And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, I know you guys know. I'm just going to clock out. I'm going to leave. And so I clocked out and I sat in the front.
And you called me.
Waiting for a ride. No, not. This wasn't this.
You were at work when you called me.
I called you at work?
Yeah.
Okay. And what did I say?
I know you're here. You're going to mess up everything for me. What you're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Raphael, I'm home.
Yeah. So my coworker was working with me that day. Okay. I mean, my the people that I was living with, right? So she was like, I'm going to clock him out and just take him home. I don't know what the fuck's happening.
Right.
And when we got back to the house, I was just like, me and Raquel have been doing heroin in the fucking bathroom this whole, bro, I just told them everything.
And
I just figured, and they kicked me out to the curb, right then. And I called you and you came and picked me up because you're awesome. Because I didn't deserve it at all. I should have been on the fucking street, but I appreciate you. You're a badass, and I love you. But I
brought you home, and you are not. I knew that you're not sleeping. I knew that you're very agitated. You still have some paranoia, some hallucinations.
Yeah, the residuals. I mean, it takes a while to really recover from all that stuff.
Yeah, and then I said you're gonna take a shower, and you're gonna go to. I'm gonna give you melatonin, and you're gonna go sleep. And I don't feel like sleeping, and I'm like, you don't have a choice. You're gonna go to sleep.
Yeah.
So that was that. And then when you woke up the next morning, you're much better.
Yeah. So, but I mean, like that was later. That was so much later on than when I started doing anything. Like, I mean, the whole time I lived in your house through high school, I was doing drugs,
Like heroin?
heroin. I was taking pills. I was doing LSD, mushrooms, ketamine. I was doing all of these psychedelic drugs, all like whatever I could get my hands onto, pretty much.
Wow.
And
That's crazy.
and for me, what was concerning for me is that I was like, she doesn't even fucking notice. Like that's how invisible I felt.
No, honey, it's
But
just...
no, I'm just
Do
letting you
understand
know. I understand.
where, like,
Oh,
I'm like,
sure.
there's something going on here. I don't know what it is.
And you don't know what to do about it.
And then I think when you came back, that you had the episode with the work and all that you came back. And I'm like, I'm going to be a little
Yeah.
religious or whatever people think. I like, God, show me if this is schizophrenia or if this is drugs.
Yeah.
And I think you went outside or whatever you did and you had your diary. You left your diary in the dining room table.
Mm.
And I said, this is the only way I can find out.
No way. You read it?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you read? What'd you?
That you did. And then you start reading, like, I did this today, like, inject heroin, I did this, that. And I'm like, oh, shit, he's
Yeah.
on drugs.
Yep. Oops. Yep.
So that's how I found out. And
Yeah, I was just ever curious if you were like conscious of that in my high school years. If that,
No, I
if
thought
you knew
you,
that
I
that was
thought
going
you were.
on.
I was a teen. First, I thought it was it's just the thing of
Teenage
being a
angst.
teenager.
Yeah.
I know there was a lot of anger about not your father not being present in your life, and you blame me
That
for it.
that was a big issue for me at that point in my life. I felt like I didn't really know who I was because I didn't know where I came from anymore.
Right.
I was so disassociated from my family that I knew
Right.
you and I weren't really getting along, and I had
Right.
felt that you were pretty vacant in my growing up, that you weren't really around a lot.
Right. Yes,
That's how
you're
I
right,
remember it.
because I had to work a lot.
And then the time that you decided to be around more was a time where I had already, like, I was like 14, 15. I had already really formed some kind of definite
Sure.
stances on shit, and we just didn't vibe well.
Right.
Um,
And also,
But I-
because I could
how-
see some tendencies on you that remind me of your father, I tried to like, no, I'm going to be extra strict and extra this and that. So
and it
he's not
caused
going
me
turn
to
out.
do all the things. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It caused me. It's like the exact opposite happened.
Right.
Is
It
because the
backfired.
more you got
I
strict,
pushed.
the more I just got smart about getting around you.
Right. That is true.
I just
and there was so much conflict on that.
Yeah.
And you're so angry because
Yeah.
you felt I prevented
you were
you
withholding.
to
I
know
felt like you
your-
were withholding information from me.
Yeah.
And I remember like growing up and just kind of like talking about it, and no one would want to talk to me about my dad.
Right.
And then when I would ask you, you would say, "I'm your mom and your dad. I raised you.
Yes.
Like fuck him or whatever,
Right.
you know." And that to me was just not a good enough answer,
Right.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where I wanted to get to this too. Is like I did meet him last time I went to Brazil.
Right.
I was 22 and was getting drunk. I would like to say with Grandpa, but he doesn't drink anymore. He just
Right.
drinks O'Doul. So I was getting drunk in front of Grandpa. Is I guess the best
he
way.
was having his beers. He loves
Yeah,
his beers.
he likes
but
his
it's no
chatting.
alcoholic.
Yeah. But we were chatting it up, and I remember him being like, "Do you want to know the history of the family?" And I said, "Yeah." And so he told me like the grandma side and all the stuff, you know, and how they met and
Right?
all that. And then we got to the end of that line, right?
Mhm.
And then he just goes, "Do you want to know about your dad?" I was like, "Fucking finally, someone wants to talk to me about this." Like I was like, "Yeah, man."
What did he say?
And he just goes, "Look, I don't know very much. I can tell you that like your mom moved out and was living with him for a time period, and I had asked her not to, but she decided that that's what she wanted to do."
No, he came to get me.
I know, yeah,
It wasn't. I was with him for a day,
really.
and Grandpa called me. Said, "I know your mother told you to go if you don't break up with him."
So what happened? What happened with my dad? Because I've heard different things
What
from
did you
different
hear?
people. Oh, that like I don't know. I heard that it was going south.
Okay.
That you wanted to break it off with him.
Mhm.
I mean, I remember you telling me that he wasn't a nice guy.
Right.
That he was very abusive.
Right.
What Grandpa said to me was that like, just that something happened where like you felt threatened.
Okay.
And then you came home and you burned all the photographs of him and shit. And you just kind of were like, this, you didn't want him around at all, period. You like excommunicated this guy.
Right.
And so, but he goes, this is your, like you have a right to know. And if you want to figure it out, we can try to figure it out together.
Oh, good. Grandpa did that. I'm glad that he
And
did it.
so he goes, let me reach out to some people and see what comes back.
Right.
And Sonata had been in contact with my father. Her cousin has been in contact with my father the entire
why, right?
time. Oh, well, I didn't know until I called you, and you were like, "How does it? Oh, you met your dad? Like, you were frantic almost."
Yes.
And then I told
me.
you, I was like, Sonara has been talking to him this whole time, and you go, "That slut," or so you said something like, and I was just like, "Ugh, gross, dude. You guys were both fucking my dad." Anyway, but yeah, so she had been in contact with him the whole time and just sent over Grandpa like his phone number.
Right.
And Grandpa was like, "Here's a photo of him and his phone number. If you want to go any forward, that's on you. I've done all that I can do to help you."
Right.
And yeah, so we later that afternoon after lunch, I went upstairs and we called.
Grandpa called, right?
I don't think he called.
He did.
He called first?
First.
Oh, that's interesting.
Do you know my side of what Grandpa did?
Well, because let me just get to the...
Sure.
And then, so when I called him, he cried for like fucking 10 minutes on the phone, my dad. Which is, it's pageantry, I think. But yeah, like he acted like he didn't know. I don't know what Grandpa said to him when he called him initially, but like I just remember calling him and being like, "Hey, like I don't know if you know, but you have a kid that you don't know about. Do you remember Luciana Camargo?" And he goes, "Yeah." Like,
yeah,
what is this?
That's what Grandpa told
What
me.
is this pertaining to? And I said, "Well, I'm your son." And he just cried for a little bit and was like, "Oh fuck," He's like, "This is great news." And I was like, "If you want to meet up, we can meet up and have a conversation and just go from there." What did Grandpa tell you?
Grandpa called me and said, Raphael wants to go find his father.
Yeah.
We found him.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything to Raphael unless you're okay with this.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Then I said, go for it. It's perfect because I don't want to be involved.
Sure.
And he's there by himself. But I asked that you go with him. That's the only thing.
He sat during the first initial meeting that we had. He came to the apartment complex. We met him downstairs. We sat in the lobby area. And it was me, Grandpa, and my dad. Yeah. The dude was just like, he's like, "Do you have any questions?" And I'm like, "Dude, I've known you existed, but you didn't know I existed. So, like, do you have any questions?"
Right.
And I just let him kind of ask,
And?
But were you nervous about that? Like, were you really, you were concerned?
Yes.
And what I was getting to is like the first time I left out by myself with him.
Yes.
And we were out drinking at a bar. That's where I saw all the things that you were talking about
what
wanting.
What did you see?
Oh, the more he drank, the more angry he got over petty things.
Right.
And I don't know if he's like at a point in life where he has like a lot of regrets. But that he got so drunk that he started crying, admitting to a bunch of things that he did that were unsettling, and
about me?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He was just abusive stuff. Like he used to, he would want you, he didn't want you talking to other people, like men and stuff. So he would kind of like put you in a corner, so to speak. I don't know what the validity is, but like one night you were out with you went to the movies with some friends or whatever, and he showed up and he was trying to get you to leave with him and he wouldn't. And then you finally did. And he like drove you out somewhere and like threatened you pretty much if you ever left him or something like that. He started saying shit like that.
He did say that.
Oh, yeah, to my face. And it took everything in my being not to fucking hurt this guy. Because that's like, I didn't know how to take it. You know what I mean? But we were getting drunk at a bar, and I just was like, all right, man, just tell me whatever. Tell me what you got to say. Tell me, get it out. But I needed to see that shit. And that's what made I feel like, for me, my relationship with you and all that stuff we were just talking about, like that stuff just floated away. Because I was like, now I understand and respect you so much more for what you did and the courage that you had to do those things. Because fuck, if I had been, my life with this guy would have been terrible. And I spent another 2 days with him, and I just let him, I just watched, and I just kind of, and there were parts
Did
of.
he take you out of the City? And
Oh, yeah,
to a
we drove-
shady house.
No, not a shady house, but he had some business to conduct
Okay.
in Campinas or like we drove out for like 2 hours and then 2 hours back. And that whole time I was like, I don't know if I'm going to come back from
Survive,
this.
yes.
Yeah, but I took the leap of faith and
then
we went.
Never saw him again, huh?
First day at the bar, second day, yeah, we did that, and then we went back to the same bar, which is like right around the corner from his house. He never put money down. Seemed like he has a tab that he hasn't paid.
Oh.
But they kept giving him bottles of liquor and booze from, like we kept
Alcoholic,
drinking.
yes.
Yeah, but I never saw him interact. Like there's no money
cash,
exchange.
no credit card,
ever.
nothing.
He told me that he used to like fucking sell cocaine and fucking.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? Oh, okay. That he also like had like a partnership in like some nightclubs and, stripper brothel kind of shit. And that he helped to facilitate that. That's what he told me. I don't know how much of that is fucking true, but that's what he told me. And then,
Sure it is true.
but yeah, and then there was things like all the, I don't know, like the alcoholism, drug addiction, that rage inside of me that, you know what I mean? Like that kind of what I was going through at that part of my life. It all was right there sitting right in front of me, staring me right back in the face. And I was like, man, I don't want to end up like that.
Right.
Like sad, alone. And yeah, and then, I mean, he fed me this whole story about my brothers and sisters not, like they don't talk to me and blah, blah, blah. They live 5 minutes away from the guy and he never fucking stops by. Thank you. My older half brother, he hit me up and was like, hey, I saw photos of you and dad together. Do you know the whole story? And then he just gave me the whole fucking gambit,
I think you should keep in touch with him.
Who, my dad?
No, your older brother.
We're so far out of touch now. I mean, it just wasn't.
Because he went through a lot. When I was dating your dad, he was like 7.
Yeah.
And he was, oh my gosh, the kids, same
Suffered.
thing. He wouldn't come see him.
Yeah.
It was sad.
Yeah.
And his ex-wife wouldn't let him be alone with the kid. I'm sure
Right.
she had her reasons for
Sure.
that,
He's a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
And on the third day, I just looked at him and I was like, hey, man, it was good to sit down with you. Like I needed this. And I'm glad that you know that I exist, but this is as far as we go. And he still messages me from time to time on Facebook Messengers, like, why don't you talk to me? And I'm like, that's why. Like, don't come at me like that.
Right.
He wanted to, like, send you a letter. He wanted to give me a letter to bring to you. And I was like, bro, your relationship with her is over.
Right.
It's just between you and I. Like, what you guys had ended 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So, it was interesting. But it was all those things. Like, I was very angsty and I had full rage and I wanted to I was pissed off at the world, pissed off at the family, pissed off at myself, and I took it out on myself by doing a bunch of drugs and stupid shit. But yeah, I don't know.
And I'll say one more time, I am so sorry.
It's okay. No, it's fine. It had to happen the way that it happened, and I don't regret a damn thing. Like I said,
You don't?
I'm out here doing what I love to do.
Yeah, but I feel like
No, I didn't want that guy part of my life. I'm glad you fucking took me away from that.
okay.
I don't regret that at all. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. It would have helped me out earlier on, maybe in life, to have known certain
him?
things. Not him.
I think the reason for me, because when you were 12, remember we went to Brazil and you said, I want to go find my dad, and we found him.
I didn't have the courage.
Yeah, I know.
I remember.
But at 12, at 10, at 7.
He could have still fought for fucking
not just that.
custody, right? If he really wanted to, or been a piece of shit.
I was afraid that you are not going to be able to see things.
I wouldn't have been.
And then you'll be in danger.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't want you. But when you got to 18, 20, whatever, and
I was 22.
Now he's a man. He can go and it's good. He needs to have that whole field.
Yeah.
Of not having the father, but at the same time, now you're a man. You can,
Yeah.
escape, figure out, whatever, So that's why. But I was very anxious and very upset because I think you sent me a picture of you and him together.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that was like,
It was what?
very hard to see. Because you're my baby.
I know.
And I felt like all the work I did
Sure.
And he comes and just, you know,
Gets to be a part of my life kind of thing.
yeah, be the dad, but he was never the dad, really.
Yeah.
But
Even then he wasn't.
But I'm glad that that you met him,
Yeah.
because I think, yes, because of that, we're in such a better place now,
Sure. I agree. That's
and
what
I think that
set it apart for me.
also, maybe throughout your life, I wanted you to be something that's not you. And I was pushing that on you.
Yeah, I felt that very hard.
And when I got to the realization that I'm your mother, I love you, and I'll support you any way I can, but I need to accept your choices.
Yeah.
And I think that changed our relationship too. So it was a mix of those two things.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm very proud of you for what you're doing now. So,
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I appreciate all the things that you did. It wasn't fucking easy. I can't even I'm 28 years old right now, and I can't even imagine having an 8-year-old. I mean, fuck that, dude. Nah, I'm out on that. Yeah. So I now that I'm older, I can have a little bit more
Right.
perspective and understand.
Yes.
But
But
back
as a
then I
kid,
didn't.
of course not.
I didn't have that perspective, and I treated you pretty harshly at a lot of points that I could have been nicer to you, considering all the things that you've done. I've always had the things that I wanted or needed in my life. I never had to suffer, never missed a meal.
Not material things, yes, but maybe
No, you always
emotionally-
provided,
But
yeah.
emotionally, maybe I could have
Sure.
been better,
But
Yeah.
we're working on it,
right?
And now you're gonna become a family therapist. So how does that all? I laughed so hard, Ron. I swear to God. It was the day I got my citizenship. We were outside, and we're in Little Italy, and she goes, "Hey, so I just want to let you know I'm going back to
will
school to
too."
become a family therapist." And I laughed so
Yes.
It's the hardest I've laughed in a very long time. And my ex, who was there with us that day, she was like, "Dude, you're being so fucking rude right now." And I was like,
Stop
"Shut
it.
up." I was like, "Shut up. Let me have this.
Let me just give me this.
I just need to laugh
need
at this.
this.
I need to laugh at this right now." That's why I just think it's awesome. And I really wanted to talk about it, just kind of settle the score, just kind of see what was what.
Sure. Yes. So,
And now that you're going into that profession, like, can I get some free counseling? Do you
Of
have some good
course.
tools now?
yes.
Now that you're going through school, what are some of the things that have touched topics that you're like, oh, I've been through this?
Oh, there are lots of things.
A lot of things?
Yes.
What did you learn that, like, you're like, oh, shit, I should have done, like, I didn't know that that's what you got to do?
Yes, and I think the reason that I'm in psychology now is because the OT program was 4 years, okay, in Brazil, the bachelor's degree.
Occupational therapy
Yes.
program, yeah.
In my third year, I realized that I didn't want to be an occupational therapist. I wanted to be a psychologist.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, no, I'm almost done. I have to provide for this kid. We got to go on with our lives, right? I wanted to come to the United States and all that. So I ended up and finished. And my dream was always to go back and do the master's in psychology. Has always been my dream.
Really? That's always what you wanted to do?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes. So when Mark passed away,
Right.
impacted me tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized you gotta do what you gotta
Hell yeah.
live life.
You gotta do what you love.
love.
Like heroin. No, I'm just kidding. Jokey jokes.
So that's when I started applying and doing what was a huge process, and I went in. But I think looking back at my life and the poor choices that I have made,
Sure.
and the situations that I put myself in, for lack of knowledge or lack of needing emotional fillers or whatever it is, I end up in very bad situations a few times in my life. So, and there are lots of women out there that have experienced sexual assault, sexual violence, and also they are in domestic violence, and they feel that they cannot leave their husbands or their partners, and their whole reason for being a family, whatever, is to work with this population.
Okay.
because of the things I went through.
Sure.
You know, sometimes, especially to low-income people, you know, mothers stay and they're beat up by their husbands, but they feel because of they have, you know, kids or whatever, they cannot escape that and be able
it's a real
to support,
helpless situation.
right?
Yeah,
It's so
trapped
helpless. And emotional too, right? Because the guy can be so nice and then turn on you and be so horrible.
Right.
And what I experienced.
It's manipulation. Yeah.
A few times in my life. So, so that is my goal. My goal is to help women, empower women to get out of those situations, or empower women that have been through a rape or a sexual assault to work on those traumas and live a better life.
Yeah.
That's
that
the whole reason that I'm there, because I think that is more common than we think.
It is.
A person gets sexual assault every minute.
Every minute?
In the United States of America.
Really?
Yes. So
that's a real.
There's a real. I just did research.
Okay. Yeah.
I had a presentation on this.
Oh wow.
Women and trauma.
Every minute. That's
every
insane.
Minute. Can be men too. You know. Remember that.
Thank you.
Remember that guy that was an army guy that lived by our apartment. That the woman would beat him up and he's like, "Please don't hit me. Please don't hit me."
Oh my God, that was the worst.
Remember that,
dude? Oh my God,
Would you like to know more?
I forgot all about that. There was this. He was like our downstairs neighbor, right? Or upstairs?
I think it was upstairs.
It was upstairs. Yeah, and he's like some kind of military guy, and just almost like once a week, we would just hear his lady beating the shit out of him.
Because he couldn't hit her back.
Bro, he would just be crying like, please.
Like a baby.
Please don't hit me again. Like, it was bad. It was bad. I mean, I watched my buddy Vince get beaten the shit out of when I first moved to San Diego. Like, this crazy chick just started beating the crap out of him, and the cops came and she got arrested, and it's awesome because they were taking photos of him for like all the scratches and shit that he had, and right above him it just said "Live, Laugh, Love" on the wall, like one of those stupid signs, and I was like, this is hilarious. But
so
anyway,
it's not just women,
yeah,
you know, but it's one person every 60 seconds. So and then there are lots of, you know, for PTSD, you know, post-traumatic disorder, like traumatic disorder.
Yeah, I know what that is.
Double is the case of women than men. Because you think about just men in the military. No. The numbers for women are double the what is for men.
For PTSD? Wow.
So, in the, you know, we're not aware of that, right?
Yeah.
It's because there's more rape, more sexual assault, more violence, you know. And then girls are 50% more at risk to be molested as a child and neglected and abused than boys.
Yeah.
So then you have that, you know, a lot of girls growing up and having that kind of stuff, right? Especially with specific cultures, you know, that's more predominant. So that's what I want to do. That is more, that's
admirable. I'm so sorry I laughed in your face when you told me.
Okay.
I feel real bad now after that speech. Way to put me in my place. Holy shit. All right.
Dick move, bro.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. That's awesome. And I'm glad that you're finally going after the thing that you've always wanted to do.
Yeah, I'm very happy
Congratulations.
about that. Yes.
And I hope you all the success for you.
Thank you.
You know, in your field. Man, a lot of stuff, huh? Can I ask you some stuff about your childhood and Grandpa?
Sure.
What did Grandpa do for a living, really? Because I feel like he's a secret agent. I feel like he's James Bond. It's a front.
He's not.
Anyway, he was a big consultant for tech companies in the early...
Well, I think when he started, he was doing some IT stuff, computer stuff.
Computer stuff. I mean, back when
financial companies, you know.
When computers were as big as a fucking room,
yes. So he'll do those systems and for companies to be able to use some technology to be able to function, I guess. That's how he started. And he also taught economics at a college level.
Really?
Yes, at nighttime.
Can't imagine Grandpa being a teacher. That's hilarious.
Yes. Like Vera Ballesteros, you know Vera? That we went to the Tony Bennett's concert with her family.
Yeah.
She was one of his students.
Fuck, that's weird.
Yeah. So anyway, but But then I think he started to, develop more or whatever. So he was in management for like insurance companies.
Huh.
And what I understand, towards the end, he was kind of restructuring companies. So he was very good at making people more money.
Yeah.
So then people start really want to hire him. So he started making, I think, very good money because,
I mean, he's been retired my whole fucking life.
Yeah, you were 18 months old when he retired.
Jesus. Yeah, that's good money.
Yeah. So, very smart guy. So that's what he did.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
He's a manager.
Yes.
He's a real Ryan type there, Ron. You know what I mean?
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, real ball buster.
Yeah, he's a real ball buster.
He's very strict. He's a perfectionist, And
so he had 3 daughters.
He did.
Which is tough.
Yes.
Because he's, I'm sure that's not what he wanted.
I think he was okay. I think your grandfather on his side.
Great-grandfather.
Yes.
Okay.
Great-grandfather.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. He had 8 granddaughters, and he
Jesus
always
Christ.
wanted a boy because he wanted his name to carry on. And
that's right. He did. Grandpa has 7 sisters. Is that it?
No. Grandpa, to Marcelo, and to Maju, all had girls.
Oh, I see.
So he had no grandchildren.
I was
that
the
were
first.
Boy. Yes.
I was the first, and that's why I got these stupid names tagged to my fucking existence.
So, I think he really wanted.
He asked you, right, to carry on the names? Was that grandfather?
Is that grandfather? He didn't ask me. I did it because of him.
Okay.
So, even grandma, what I understand, she had Tati, me, and then she tried Jans, hoping there was the boy for him.
For grandpa, yeah.
But she was a girl again.
Yeah.
So it was all girls. And then
You were the first to have kids out of the 3.
I was
a boy.
I was the only one to have kids that I was not married, right? So that's why you have the Camargo name. And he was very happy that finally his name was going to be carried on. And he died when you were probably 6 months old.
Nice.
So it was nice, I guess, for him to know that you're going to carry his name.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So that was it. And that's why when I got married, that you wanted me to change your name to Craig.
Yeah.
That you didn't like that we had different names.
Yeah. Well, I wanted so much to just be identical to you.
Yeah, right. Then I couldn't do it because of my grandfather. I said, I can't do it because, and I ended up getting divorced and got my name back. So
yeah. Rafa Craig, not a good stage name.
Boring. Snooze fest.
But fucking that's weird.
So that's it.
I used to do a joke that I'd say my full name and I'd be like, it's Italian for my family hates me.
Oh.
Because you know how long it takes me to go to the DMV?
and then the DMV, the school, everything shorter names, right?
Yeah, it's such a pain
and
in the
attach
ass.
the D to the Camargo, and so it's very different than what it is with our family, really. It's like
I'm not really sure what my real name is, you know what I mean? What it's supposed to be.
The Camargo separated, but...
Oh, okay.
But,
Wow, meaning a lot. That's cool. I mean, just how was it as the three females growing up under his roof, and what was it like before I came into the picture? Because I can't imagine it.
Sure. So he worked a lot. So it
was pretty much grandma that was around.
Yes, she was there. But grandpa is was 7 a.m. to midnight or whatever. Because he was teach at school at night. And he had the job, and the jobs are very he worked 12, 14 hours. He'll go early before everybody started, and he'll leave right. At one point, when I was 18, I was volunteers at PAX, Carmen Ballesteros spiritual place.
Sure.
And I'll ride with him to his job because he was in downtown São Paulo, and I'll catch the subway because they are in the west part of São Paulo or whatever. So we'll go at 7 a.m. and then at nighttime I'll come. He was still at work, and then we'll come home at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. home. So the man worked 12, 13, 14 hours, I don't know,
machine, yeah.
All his life.
Did you have a good relationship with him? Did you feel like you bonded with the guy at all, or did you just
not in the beginning, not until
just now, more
14.
Later? Oh, okay.
So when I was 14,
so similar kind of.
Yes, when I was 14, because he was never there, right?
Yeah.
And he was very stressed out when he was around us when we were growing up.
Really?
So there were a lot
Because of work or because of you guys?
I think work, and then we were, 3 kids, just,
Yeah.
So when I was 14, because he worked for a French company, and he would go to France very often. So when I was 14, he told my grandma, like, I'm taking her to Paris with me. And grandma said, she doesn't even know how to cross the street. You're going to take her to Paris?
And he would just leave you by yourself during the day. That's crazy.
So he convinced grandma, and I'm so glad he did. And we went to Paris. I was there for a month with him. So he worked during the day, and and then he had a friend that needed a concierge of the 4-star hotel. I went to fashion shows. I mean, I was it was so cool. I had tours, everything free because this guy was.
What year was this?
I was 14, so
80.
I was born in 73, so 80 something, right? 87 maybe.
90. No, 80.
I don't know.
73 or 14.
So 10 is 83 plus 4.
87.
87.
That's cool.
And then weekends we would go tour the castles, and I spent 2 days just me and him. It was really nice because I got to know him, So that trip was life-changing for me because I spent a whole month just me and him.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity, right? And
you're the oldest.
And my sisters didn't, because I think he took Tati to Europe too when she was 15. But then my mom went with them. So it was the 3 of them, which was nice. But I had the opportunity to go just with him.
Just one-on-one.
And we went to business dinners all the time. I was 14. It was hilarious. We had lots of fun. We went to Lop's house outside in the country and all that stuff. So that was a fun trip. And that was the first time I saw my father cry the day that I had to leave. Because he was going to stay another.
I've only seen him cry twice.
When?
It was my 18th birthday. That was hilarious. They made a whole montage of photos of me since I was born up until my 18th. And my grandfather was crying in the back somewhere. He thought he was hidden. And then afterwards, during the party, he was like, I fucking hate those things. He said something like, oh, I hate those stupid movies like that.
I have a cold.
And then, one of my aunts popped up. It was like, shut up. You were in the back crying the whole time. He was like, I was not. I have a cold, God damn it. And the rest of the trip, it was like anytime someone got teary, we'd be like, I'm sorry, I just have a cold right now.
It's a good
it was twice in the same
sweet.
trip. It was that one, and then a couple days later, you told him I started smoking weed, and then he sat me down on the couch and cried because I was smoking pot.
Yeah.
I was like, Grandpa, it's California. I get it from guys in lab coats. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah, he was crying.
It's not that bad. And he wanted to drive me to Crackland in Brazil.
What is that?
The whole section of drug addicts. It's kind of like the.
Oh,
the
so you can see that's horrible.
Yeah,
yes.
I was like, bro, that's fucking crack. That's not weed. That's not what happens to you. But I remember being 18 and my grandfather sitting me down and crying. Yeah. But I've never seen him cry my entire life.
Yeah.
Those were the only 2 times.
I only saw him cry once, and that's when I left Paris, and I was 14 years old.
Wow.
And I said, oh, he really loves me.
If he's going to cry over it.
I mean, that I'm leaving, he's like, I enjoy your time. And because and I was subway, we were going back to the hotel or something. And I was leaving the next day, and he started crying. I was like, wow.
That's crazy. I've never seen that side of him. But he's getting soft now.
He is getting soft.
He's getting soft. The more cousins are popping out, the older he's getting. He's becoming a big softie.
Yeah, he is.
I can feel it.
Yeah, he's amazing.
I don't even talk to him very much, but I can just see him in the videos and stuff. He's a little bit.
He is an amazing man, and he has been there for his children all the way around.
Yeah. Are those videos available anywhere online?
Oh,
can I just go see them on YouTube?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Which videos?
I mean, Tachi's Instagram is full of videos of Grandpa playing with Augusto.
Oh, that's funny.
Playing with the kids.
That's true.
Yeah, he seems a lot more just, he's just so happy to be around and be a grandpa.
With you was more the father role.
Yeah,
has always been.
Yeah, it still is.
And then with the others, he can
he's
be a
grandpa. Yeah, but to me, he's dad.
Yes, he is.
I fucked up when I asked him when I was 3. I was like, hey, man, can you do that role? And he's like, I got you, dude. And I'm still suffering the repercussions of my actions there. Yeah. No, he's a good dude.
He felt responsible for your upbringing. And he still does.
I know.
I mean,
he gives me shit.
I'm telling you, even though, you're the favorite because they were so involved with you. You know what I mean?
I mean, I was the only one around for
Yeah.
like what, 18 years?
Yes.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
the
They were
only.
like
I
a
was the
grandchild,
prodigal
yeah.
son.
Yeah.
And I hated it because there was so much spotlight on me.
Right.
You know, I was like, fuck, dude. They know everything that I do. Everything I get in
Right.
trouble for. My mom rats me out and tells them. I get to Brazil and they're like, yeah, so you brought a lighter to school, huh?
Oh my gosh, remember that?
Got expelled for bringing a lighter that doesn't work to school, huh?
Yeah.
That was cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on today
it's
and
my
talking about this stuff. I think it was really
I love
fun.
it. And yes, it's good to talk about it.
Yeah, it's good to
Anytime.
clear. And, you know, one day when you die, we'll always have this. So.
Right.
Hey, that's been another episode of the
There it
ECLECTICAST.
is. Okay.
Make sure to subscribe.
I'm so sorry. That's your music. That's the show. Everybody. Thanks for showing up. Redmedia.com.